Hello guys, this is a quick video to help you finish up your lab. So I just want to remind you first that you have a lot of helpful resources on the assignment page itself. Remember to click around on the tabs if you need to, but most of what you need right now should be on the first tab. You also, at the very bottom of the first tab, there is a link to this particular set of slides that I'm showing you guys right now. Uh, so what we should have done already is the hypothesis and variables on slide 4. We did that together last week. Then on Thursday and Friday, you should have filled out your data table based on the measurements that you took of your carrots. On Friday, we worked on our graph. I showed you guys how to do that. If you missed anything, if you don't have a graph on slide 8, then you need to watch the how to graphing video on the assignment homepage. Today, your goal is to finish up the rest of the lab. So that means slides 11, 12, and 13. These slides are using your data, the data that you collected. Okay, not my data, not the data from the end. Okay, just your data. So slide 11 is very simple. All you're doing is telling me what happened to your carrots. Did they gain water? Did they lose water? Was the solution they were in isotonic, hypotonic, hypertonic? Okay, what happened to the cells? Are they turgid if they were nice and firm? Or are they soft and squishy, in which case they have been plasmolized? Okay, so take a couple minutes to analyze each individual carrot. Then slide 12 is the main question. So we want to know, it's kind of like not the main question, an additional question. Okay, we said we want to know how the carrots are affected by water. Something additionally that we can find if we have good data. Not everybody will have fantastic data. So just do your best with this question. What we want to know is where the trend line that we put in on our data or on our graph, where it crosses the 0% change in mass line, because that should be equal to the carrot's actual cytoplasm. Because that's where it would be if there was no change in mass. That means it doesn't gain water or lose water. So to find that, we're going to go back to our graph, and I've marked it on mine as an example. So this orange arrow right here is where my trend line and my actual data line, just because they happen to be so similar, is where my trend line crosses the 0% change in mass line. That's what I'm looking for. So where does my data line cross the 0% change in mass line? So that point right there, that's the point where my cytoplasm would be equal to the outside concentration. So notice it's between 0 and 1%, a little bit closer to 1%. So I would say that's about 0.8%, maybe 0.7, okay, depending. I think in my answer I put 0.8. So there's an example answer on slide 12 for that one. Slide 13, you're going to think about how we could improve the experiment. How could we more accurately answer the question? Some examples might be something along the lines of having more solutions. Okay, we only did 5 solutions, so we could do more solutions. Okay. That's the only extra hints I'm giving, so you guys can think about some other things. We also had an issue with one of the scales, so if you use the middle scale on day 1, that might affect your data. The last thing you guys are going to be doing is analyzing the class data. For this, you need to use the information here. So this is a raw set of data from a whole class. I collected these a couple years ago, actually. So you're going to find the average of each column. So you add all of the percents up and divide by the number of numbers you have. Okay, then you're going to create a data table with that information. You have some instructions here, but I'm not giving any extra hints for this one because this is a level 3-4. Okay, on slide 17, you're going to take the data that you put into the table on slide 16 and graph it, just like we graphed our data last week. And then you're going to answer the questions again. Okay, this is part of the higher level stuff, so make sure that you're thinking about it and filling it in using the class-wide data. That's all I have for you guys. When you're done, please make sure you submit it because this is the last day that we're definitely working on it in class. We may be able to give some time tomorrow, but we also need to get moving on the next stuff. So I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow.